I was always kind of curious, where did this fascination come from?
Is what we do to earn a living really something we choose, or is it something in our blood?
I was very fortunate to be adopted into a medical family. My dad was a very well-respected eye surgeon in the Portland area.
Jay Browning always dreamed of being a logger, but his dream never made much sense considering the makeup of his family.
We had 7 surgeons in the family, all together, cousins and stuff.
Browning says he never quite fit the family mold.
On the day I turned 60, I got a call, and the lady said, "This is Marilyn. I'm your biological mom." She goes, "Do you have any questions?" I says, "Yeah, Mom. Why since I was 5 years old did I always want to be a logger?" And she said, "Well, I grew up in a logging camp, and your grandfather was born in a logging camp back in Minnesota, and his father was a logger back in Denmark."
Finally, it made sense. Jay owns J.M. Browning Logging Company in Astoria, Oregon. These forests, these mountains, and the rugged terrain are the place Browning has worked most of his life.
I couldn't believe what I was doing working in that big, beautiful timber. Took it really serious. You know, if I was going to lay out a tree, I was going to get everything I could out of it.
Browning is not alone. Those who work out here do take it seriously. This is not just a job site, it's where they live and recreate too. Browning lost much of his hand and his arm in a logging accident. Logging is hard, dangerous work. But the biggest threat to the timber industry is man-made.
If it keeps going the way it is now, there won't be anybody here.
Why? Arbitrary regulations and misinformation are harming small family-owned businesses like Browning's. Browning and others want to tell the truth about timber and show us what he and others like him do to not only harvest a product we desperately need, but also what they do to protect the woods, the wildlife, water, and the communities around them.
I'm really nervous about our future here.
Many in the industry believe the general public misunderstands timber practices of the past versus what actually happens today.
And it's not just about the jobs, it's about the forest itself. I'm out in the forest almost every day, and what I see, you know, the stands of state timber that are overripe. You don't have to look very hard and see all the young trees coming up, and you know, 5 years from now you won't hardly see much of the ground in here.
Oregon timber is a sustainable crop. When taken care of, it not only cuts down on wildfires and promotes livable habitat for wildlife, it also produces the best carbon filtering system known to man.
And look at how these trees are coming back. You know, and here's a good example of timber harvesting that works.
Healthy, managed trees filter and store carbon. Dead, dying, rotting, burning trees release it. Browning says if Oregon doesn't figure it out soon, fires and what he calls the lack of good forest management will destroy the forest, the industry, and the communities that depend on it.
Replanted trees are the carbon basket. They're what helps keep us alive.
Wood consumption does not go down when we prevent our state's industry from making wood products. Rather, our wood is outsourced from other countries that don't share the same values, stewardship, and responsible forest practices that loggers like Browning hold every day.
The people that make their living out here, I don't think even get listened to. We are the experts. We are the stewards of the land. No, I didn't go to college to get a forestry degree. I came out here to get my forestry degree. Out here, we cut down trees and then we replant them. And trees grow back and species thrive.
Jay Browning is the picture of an Oregon logger. He loves being out in nature.
It's a whole different world out here. It's too bad we can't get the public to understand a little bit more of what goes on out here.
Maybe to better understand what goes on out here requires more listening to those who do the work.
I do feel like I'm a steward that thinks more and takes more care of the forest, the waters of the state, the wildlife than people that call themselves environmentalists.
Long before taking care of Oregon's timber became a headline, a cause, or for some a religion, people like Jay Browning were already taking care of it. When Browning looks at his life, he can't believe how it's all turned out. Nature or nurture, Jay's not really sure, but what he does know is for this industry to continue, those who make the rules need to play by those rules and listen to the voices of those who work in the woods.
I definitely felt that God had one mission for me, and that was to be a logger.